Billionaire discovers Nanny's heartwarming dance with deaf twins, their amazing kitchen surprise. Jack Walker was the king of Silicon Valley, a billionaire who had everything: power, prestige, and a sprawling mansion that glittered beneath the California sun. Yet, the man who owned it all was a soul adrift. Each morning, he slid into the suit and tie of a corporate titan, charging through board meetings and tech launches, his heart locked away in a fortress of ambition. Little did he know, everything was about to change on a seemingly ordinary Saturday. As he pulled into his driveway, Jack felt a flutter of surprise when he spotted his nanny, Maria, and his twin foster sons, Alex and Ben, in the kitchen. They were dancing, pure joy spilling into the air as they twirled and laughed, lost in a world that Jack had never ventured into. Maria, a beacon of light with her uninhibited spirit, led the boys with infectious enthusiasm. The three of them swayed to an unspoken rhythm, their bodies moving as if they were orchestrating a beautiful symphony of laughter and love. Caught off guard, Jack's heart tightened. Admiration wrestled with skepticism. Could a mere dance replace the structure he believed the boys needed? He watched as Alex and Ben beamed, their silent giggles echoing through the kitchen. A pang of regret hit him. He had barely spent any real time with the boys, instead burying himself in work while Maria filled their world with sunshine. In that moment, he realized he was standing on the wrong side of a closed door, watching the warmth he had yearned for slip through his fingers. "What is going on here?" Jack asked, his voice edged with tension as the three of them paused mid-step. Maria smiled, unfazed, while the boys continued to twinkle with delight. "Just having a little fun." She beamed, her passion evident. Jack's chest tightened. This isn't how they should learn. There's a need for disciplined structure. His words hung heavy in the air. Maria's face momentarily faltered, anger rising in her cheeks. To her, this was not play, this was connection. But to Jack, it was frivolity, an unorthodox method he wasn't willing to accept. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Frustration surged inside him. Seeking to impose his idea of order, Jack hired a renowned child psychologist, convinced that their methodical approach would unveil the boys' hidden potential. But as sessions turned clinical and cold, Jack couldn't ignore the widening chasm of silence that fell over Alex and Ben. The very warmth Maria had spread like butter was ripped away, and he felt their laughter slip into echoes of silence and retreat. At the community event that followed, Jack steeled himself as he watched families celebrate together, joy radiating around him. It was then that he caught sight of Alex and Ben, joyfully mimicking Maria's dance. The laughter that erupted from them was a deafening reminder of everything he had almost lost. Their unfiltered delight and the surging realization flooded him: could he truly bridge the gap he'd created? Each heartbeat drummed urgency, pushing him to reconsider everything. As the rhythm of their laughter intertwined with the music of the event, Jack stood on the brink of revelation. Would he continue to watch from the sidelines, or would he step into their world and embrace the dance of hope and human connection he was so afraid to join? Jack's heart raced as he watched Alex and Ben spin with carefree joy. The laughter that poured from them was infectious, and it struck a chord deep within Jack's soul. Every chuckle, every happy shriek tugged at his heartstrings, reminding him of the joy he had sacrificed on the altar of ambition. The change in his boys was undeniable, and the truth hit him like a cold wave: he was losing them. Summoning courage, Jack moved through the throng of families. Each step felt heavy, laden with the weight of his choices. The fear that had kept him anchored within his fortress of work began to dissipate. For the first time, he wanted to step outside and join the dance. "Hey, can I join you?" Jack's voice trembled slightly as he approached the twins. They froze, their wide eyes magnified with surprise and delight. "Dad!" Alex chirped, his small legs propelling him toward Jack, a smile lighting up his face. Ben followed suit, his silent laughter contagious. Jack knelt down, the manicured lawn feeling soft beneath him, and opened his arms. The twins rushed in, wrapping around him like little vines of support and happiness. In their embrace, Jack felt warmth flood his chest, replacing the cold edge of ambition. Maria watched, a small smile gracing her lips. The moment was tentative, still fragile like a newly sprouted flower. Jack looked up. "I'm sorry," he said softly, sincerity lacing his voice. "I've been so focused on what I thought you needed that I forgot what really matters: love, connection. I forgot to just be with you." Their eyes sparkled with understanding, the weight of his confession hanging gently between them. Maria stepped a little closer. "Sometimes, it's the simplest things that teach us the most important lessons," she said. With a deep breath, Jack stood. The community event pulsed around him, laughter drifting through the air like balloons released at a birthday party. He felt alive as he took Alex and Ben's hands. "Let us dance," he declared, summoning his courage. The three of them moved in a clumsy, joyful whirl, modeled after the rhythm Maria had instilled. They laughed, twirled, and fell over one another, the music surrounding them like a warm blanket. Suddenly, the boys were not just his foster children, they were his partners in joy. The laughter that erupted made heads turn, but Jack didn't care. He felt that he would never be on the sidelines again. As they danced, an unexpected onlooker approached them. It was the child psychologist, a strong eyebrow raised in surprise. Her presence knocked the moment out of balance. Jack felt an instinctive need to explain himself. "Please, this is what they really need: connection, not method." Before she could respond, Maria stepped forward, full of grace and confidence. "Sometimes, it's okay to let go of control," she added with a kind smile. "Let them show you what it means to truly live, Jack." For the first time, Jack could feel a shift within himself and around them. He could sense the tide turning. "I want to learn," he managed to say, his voice quieter but determined. As the event unfolded around them, the pressure within Jack felt like a balloon ready to pop with optimism. He glanced at the psychologist, then back at the boys, his determination solidifying. But just as joy began to seep into Jack's heart, he caught a glimpse of something lurking in the crowd: an old acquaintance, a figure from his past that he had deliberately set aside. Their eyes locked, an unsettling recognition passing between them. Jack's laughter faltered. What would this person think of his newfound happiness? Would they drag him back into the shadows of his former life? The thought sent a chill down his spine. Caught in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, he realized he was standing at a crossroads. Would he confront the past or dive deeper into this dance of newfound love? The rhythm of life, it seemed, had a few more surprises in store. Jack's heart thudded like a drum echoing in a quiet room as he locked eyes with the familiar face weaving through the crowd. That face belonged to Mark, someone Jack thought he had left behind. Memories layered over him like dust, covered by years of self-imposed isolation, ambition, and the need to succeed. "Jack," came Mark's voice, smooth as honey but with an edge that could slice through tension. Jack could feel a shift in the air, the laughter and music fading, replaced by the rapid beat of his pulse. "Look at you. I didn't expect to see you here." "Yeah, well," Jack stammered, trying to catch his breath amid the swirling colors of the festival. "Things have changed." Mark's eyes drifted to the twins, who were swaying in unison, blissfully unaware of the skeletons floating between Jack and his old friend. "So, you're a dad now? And dancing?" A smirk curled at the corners of his mouth. It was a smile that didn't hold a hint of nostalgia, more like a challenge. "That's unexpected. You used to be all about business." "People change." Jack's words were sharper than he intended, but the vulnerability of the moment escalated tension. "Do they?" Or do you just bury yourself in these things to ignore the past? Mark stepped closer, eyes piercing. Jack felt the weight of his old life pressing down like the summer sun. You haven't changed that much. Your games, Jack, they're just more complicated now. In the haze of Mark's interrogation, Jack felt a flicker of old insecurities ignite. He was about to defend himself, to recite the long list of achievements he'd amassed, when he felt a tug on his pant leg. It was Alex, staring up at him with wide, questioning eyes. "Dad, are you okay?" His innocent concern unraveled some of Jack's bravado. The truth was that he wasn't okay. Not while Mark pried at old wounds. Jack knelt, enveloping Alex in a protective embrace. His eyes darted up to meet Ben's gaze, who peered at Mark with suspicion. Jack's love for his boys grounded him. These two mattered more than the ghosts from his past. "I'm fine, buddy. Just talking to an old friend. Will you dance again?" Ben's small voice cut through the noise, and Jack felt his heart soften. That was the ticket, the key to breaking the chains of awkwardness, dancing with his sons. The world melted away when they were together. Of course, Jack beamed, his heart swelling with renewed joy. He stood up, taking Alex and Ben's hands, sensing the magnetic pull of love. "Let us show the world how it's done." As he twirled the boys around, laughter bubbled from their throats. The rhythm of little feet and happy shrieks fused with the melody surrounding them, drowning out Mark's penetrating gaze. They were free, alive, and Jack's laughter rang out, echoing a newfound resolve. But then, as they danced, he caught sight of Maria. She stood a few feet away, watching, with a look that seemed to warn him. Her brow furrowed slightly, and Jack could sense both concern and hope radiating from her. The music swelled, and in that moment, everything felt weightless. Yet a part of him remained tethered to Mark's gaze. Would old ties win over new connections? As the last note faded, Jack's joy turned into uncertainty. How would he handle the real conversation that was coming next? The one that would reveal whether he could truly leave behind the shadows of his past or if they would follow him into the light. Jack's breath caught, and with the air still buzzing with their laughter, he knew he was standing on the edge of something important. Would he be able to make the leap? Would the dance continue? The world turned, but he was now desperate to find out what would happen next. The air was thick with moments of laughter and warmth, but Jack felt a chill from Mark's presence that hung around him like a shadow. He smiled at Alex and Ben, yet a tight knot formed in his stomach. The vibrant festival felt overwhelming, the sound and colors wrapping around him as the realization hit, he was entangled again in the web of his past. "Isn't it a bit surreal?" Mark continued, voice dripping with mockery. "You dancing like this, playing house in your little bubble, what's next? Weekend BBQs and family game nights?" Jack struggled to maintain his smile, turning slightly to face Maria. She met his eyes with a mix of assurance and concern, and he felt a pull urging him to her side. But the confrontation with Mark had cracked open a door he wasn't ready to walk through. "Yeah, I guess you could say I've found a new rhythm," Jack replied, a twinge of defiance shining through. He loved his boys. He loved this life, and he wasn't about to let Mark's cynicism poison the moment. "But I'm sure your grand plans are still busy filling your calendar with more empty boardroom meetings." The jab landed, but instead of retreating, Mark stepped closer, the playful smirk gone, revealing a hardened gaze. "You think this is all there is? A couple of kids and a dance? What happens when they grow up, Jack? They'll want more than just your silly distractions." Jack's heart raced. The accusation stung, and it woke something deep within. He thought of sleepless nights spent cradling Alex when he was colicky, of dimly lit kitchens filled with laughter and flour on the floor as he and Ben baked cookies. These moments were real, shimmering like sunlight filtering through trees. They were not distractions, they were life itself. "Life isn't measured in corporate successes," Jack said, voice steady. "You wouldn't understand. Mark's laughter rang out, cutting through the air like a balloon popping. "Oh really? Try me." Suddenly, Alex squeezed Jack's hand tighter, a curious expression on his little face. "Dad, can we go see the cool fire performers?" His excitement was palpable, and Jack felt a wave of love wash over him. "Absolutely. Let us go," he said, battering the atmosphere with enthusiasm that came naturally when he was with his boys. But as they stepped away, Mark's voice called after him, heavy with an intensity that made Jack turn back. "Just don't pretend this is all there is. Someday you'll want more than just this ordinary life." Jack hesitated for a moment, the words echoing like thunder in his heart. Was it possible Mark was right? Would he grow restless? But before doubt could take root, he focused on Ben's bright eyes lighting up at the thought of swirling fire dancers and magic. "Let us go, guys," Jack declared, shaking off Mark's words like dust. The twins tugged him forward, pure joy radiating from them. As they dashed through the throngs of colorful festival-goers, Jack felt an unfamiliar weight lift. The stages where life played out, spontaneous and unpolished, were where he belonged. He could see the fire dancers now, flames twisting and turning in mesmerizing patterns against the twilight. But as the flickering lights danced before them, Jack caught Maria's eye again. She stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, a smile gracing her lips, but with something almost like sadness lingering behind it. Was she waiting for him to come closer? He took a step, but then he hesitated, caught between old ties and new connections. What would he say? Did she sense the unresolved feelings that floated in the air like those cigarette-scented strands of smoke drifting away? "Dad?" Ben's voice broke through his thoughts. "Can we go closer?" Jack nodded, but his heart raced with uncertainty. They could dance to this new song of life, but was he ready to confront the unspoken things that hung over his head? With every step, the distance between him and Maria seemed to pulse like the lively beat of the festival. The thrill began to mix with the tension. Would he walk toward her and face the questions that lingered, or would he keep pretending everything was perfect? As he approached the fire circle, the heat of excitement mingled with the warmth of Maria's gaze. Jack could feel the pull, the promise of a deeper connection waiting to be uncovered. And just when he thought he'd found solid ground, the flicker of flames danced brighter, taunting him with the question that would change everything: was he brave enough to step into the fire? Jack stood at the edge of the fire circle, the heat radiating toward him like a mirror of the conflicting emotions swirling inside. The flames danced, casting flickering shadows that mirrored his uncertainty. He glanced back at Maria, whose smile seemed to both invite him closer and hold him at bay. "Come on, Dad. Please." Ben bounced on his toes, excitement sparking in his wide eyes. Just behind him, Alex tugged encouragingly at Jack's hand. Jack swallowed hard, torn between what he felt for the boys and the weight of his unaddressed feelings for Maria. Could he really risk shattering the fragile peace he'd crafted for himself? The fire performers started to twirl their staffs, illuminating the surrounding night with bursts of orange and yellow. The crowd gasped and cheered, but Jack felt an ache of longing for something deeper, something that Mark's taunts were now pressing against his heart. "Let us go enjoy the show," he finally said, but his voice held a wavering note, half-hearted at best. They moved closer, the warmth of the fire enveloping them. Jack watched the dancers whirl, their movements fluid and free, their expressions radiating joy. He wanted to feel that same joy, to let go of the reservations holding him back. But as he turned his gaze to Maria, Jack noticed her watching the dancers with a wistfulness that echoed in her eyes. It was a look that reminded him of when they used to share dreams over coffee, talking about everything under the sun, before reality reshaped their paths. A wave of sadness washed over him, breaking the surface of his bravado. "Maria," he called, taking a step away from the twins. She turned her head slightly, her smile faltering as their eyes met. "Hey, Jack," she replied, voice low yet warm, almost crackling with the energy of the fire nearby. The laughter of the boys faded into the background as he took another step. What do you see? He asked, gesturing to the dance. I see freedom, she said softly, eyes drifting back to the performers. It makes you wish you could just let go, doesn't it? Jack felt the weight of her words settle over him like a cozy blanket. Yeah, it really does, he admitted, his heart racing with the urge to be honest. I've been struggling to find that balance. Between wanting to provide the best for my kids and exploring what I really want. Maria nodded, the flicker of understanding passing between them. It's hard. You want to give them a life, but sometimes that comes at the expense of your own happiness. All at once, Jack felt seen. The shared uncertainty they held about their futures ignited a fire of courage within. What if we could create something beautiful together? He asked, the words spilling out before he could second-guess himself. Like what? Her brow arched, a hint of curiosity mixed with vulnerability. Like a chance to, I don't know, really connect again. Explore things together. The sincerity in his voice quieted the cacophony of the festival, pulling the two of them into a sacred space beyond the chaos. Maria studied him for a moment, her expression softening, and Jack held his breath, waiting. Sunsets and fireworks faded into the background as the world narrowed down to just the two of them. Okay, she said at last, a shy smile beginning to bloom. But first, let me show you something. Before he could react, she grabbed his hand and led him closer to the fire ring. Jack's heart raced, a mix of excitement and fear flooding him. Was he really ready to plunge into something so profound after years of keeping his distance? As they stepped closer to the alluring flames, he glanced back at his boys, who were mesmerized by the show. Alex waved enthusiastically, oblivious to the silent conversation unfolding. A sudden burst from the fire performers snapped him back to the moment. As Maria pulled him into the heat of the dance, Jack's feelings intensified. There was no turning back now. What awaited him on the other side of this leap? Jack could feel the pulse of the moment, the sensation of embarking on a path that could lead to joy or heartache. Would they emerge as stronger friends, or something more? The flames flickered, beckoning Jack to step into the unknown. What awaited him beyond the fire's glow? Would he finally understand the power of connection? The heat of the fire crackled around Jack as he stepped closer to Maria, uncertainty fighting for space with exhilaration. The world seemed to fade into a blur of colors and sounds, leaving just them, buoyed by the flickering flames. Maria's grip on his hand was firm yet tender, a lifeline he hadn't realized he needed. They moved together with the rhythm of the dancers, their bodies swaying gently as the firelight painted their features with golden shadows. Jack could feel the pulse of the beat thrumming through him, and for just a moment, he was swept away from his worries. Look at them, Maria said, nodding toward the performers. They're so alive. It's like they forget everything else and just exist in the moment. Her voice sent shivers down Jack's spine as he absorbed every word, feeling the truth wrapped in her observation. He wanted that. He wanted to forget everything, the weight of responsibility, the judgment of others, the echoes of his past. What's stopping you? He asked softly, locking eyes with her. In that heartbeat, the noise of the world retreated, leaving room for a deeper conversation. She hesitated for a heartbeat, then said, Fear, I guess. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of feeling too much. Something shifted between them, a crack of understanding that widened with each passing second. Jack's heart raced, not just from the proximity but from the realization that he wasn't alone in this struggle. They were both grappling with similar burdens, wanting to find joy despite the shadows looming close. Let us not think about fear tonight, Jack said, sensing that this moment could be the turning point for both of them. He saw a flicker of hope sparking in her eyes, and it fueled his courage. Let us just dance, like them. Maria smiled, and it felt like the clouds were breaking open. The warmth of her presence cut through the chill of doubt that lingered in Jack's mind. They began to sway slowly, moving to an invisible melody that only they could hear. It didn't matter that their feet didn't match the dancers' perfect steps. what mattered was the connection they were igniting within each other. In those fragile moments, he dared to lean closer, breathing in the jasmine perfume drifting from her hair. "You know," he murmured, "I've missed this, missed you. The laughter, the dreams we used to share." Her gaze softened, and a hint of nostalgia crept into her expression. "Me too. Life got so busy, it felt easier to forget. Let us not forget again." They lingered in that embrace, the fiery dance swirling around them, a mirror of their own dance with possibilities. Jack felt a surge of hope swelling inside, something he hadn't felt in years. But just as the moment reached its peak, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd, pulling them back to reality. The performers finished their act with a mighty flourish, and everyone around them erupted in applause, clapping and laughing. Jack and Maria pulled apart, her hand slipping from his reluctantly. The bubble of intimacy they had shared burst, leaving behind an ache that felt both thrilling and intimidating. "Now what?" Jack asked, barely able to conceal the fear creeping back in. Did the connection fade with the performance, or could it weave itself into something real? Maria smiled shyly, an expression of hope behind her eyes. "Let us figure it out together." He nodded, feeling something settling within him, a purpose forming. But as they stepped back to the twins, he couldn't shake the question lingering in his mind. Was he truly ready to embrace a path filled with uncertainty and potential heartache, or was he about to let fear dictate his next steps once again? As Ben and Alex rushed to share their excitement about the performance, Jack's heart raced. This was just the beginning, and he could feel the winds of change blowing in the air. Would he have the courage to follow where it led? Jack followed the twins, feeling the pull of the moment still clinging to him. Laughter and cheers mingled in the air, a symphony of joy that rippled through the crowd. He offered a smile but felt the heaviness returning, an uncertainty creeping back in as his thoughts spun around his earlier conversation with Maria. Ben and Alex were buzzing with excitement, their voices tumbling over each other as they recounted their favorite parts of the performance. Jack listened, half-heartedly nodding, his mind still on Maria. She was a spark, lighting up something deep within him, a part that had long been dulled by routine and, yes, fear. "Did you see the way they moved?" Ben exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder. "I wish I could dance like that." "Me too. We should try." Alex chimed in, his enthusiasm infectious. "Why not?" Jack said, surprised by his own eagerness. "Let us have our own dance party." The twins cheered, hopping in place. As they moved toward the kitchen, Jack felt a flicker of excitement bubble up. Perhaps he could create magic like the performers had, unfiltered and real. In the kitchen, they rummaged through the cabinets, searching for anything that could resemble instruments. Pots, pans, and wooden spoons became their makeshift drums as they set the rhythm. Jack could hardly contain his laughter as Ben demonstrated an exaggerated two-step dance, his legs flailing in joyful abandon. Maria watched from the doorway, a smile spreading across her face. She was a burst of color amidst the chaos, and for a moment, she felt right at home. Jack's heart warmed as their eyes met. This was what he wanted, this joy, connection, and lightness in the air. "Join us," he called to her, waving her inside. With a playful shrug, she stepped into the thrumming chaos, and just like that, everything shifted. They made space, clearing the floor, and soon Maria was in the center, channeling the energy of the performers they had just watched. Jack joined her, and together they began to spin and sway, their laughter ringing like a melody that drowned out all else. The twins cheered, spinning around them, and before long, they were all lost in the music of their own making. Jack caught glimpses of Maria's laughter, the way her hair bounced with each movement, her spirit untamed and free. They moved as if the weight of the world had lifted, chasing shadows away like the evening sun, but in the middle of their dance, the air shifted again. Jack felt a rush of vulnerability. Was this bliss just a facade? Could they really transform their connection into something lasting amidst their fears and responsibilities? As they danced, Maria locked eyes with him, and he saw something deeper flickering there, a challenge, an invitation. The way she moved, the way she looked at him, spoke volumes about the possibilities waiting to be explored. "Jack," she said, breathless as they slowed to a stop, "this feels right." But he knew where the unspoken words were heading, the both of them grasping for certainty in the uncertainty swirling around them. "Let us not think of the buts tonight," he said softly, stepping closer. Her eyes sparkled with something electric, her smile infectious amidst the chaos of the twins still spinning around them. "You're right," she said, and there was freedom in this shared understanding, a glimpse of something beautiful. In that moment, surrounded by the frenetic energy of laughter and love, a sense of belonging washed over Jack. The shadows that had loomed felt a little smaller, a little less daunting, but just then, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen as a pot toppled to the floor, and the moment was abruptly shattered. The twins burst into laughter, and even Maria couldn't help but join in, all the tension breaking like a spell. Jack chuckled along with them, but as the laughter subsided, the question lingered: could this joy survive outside of their little kitchen celebration? "Okay," he said, looking at Maria and the twins adjusting their dance moves again. "What happens next?" Their laughter faded into an eager anticipation, and Jack realized he was ready to find out. Jack watched as the twins resumed their wild dance, their laughter echoing against the kitchen walls. For a moment, he felt like a spectator in his own life. But then he caught sight of Maria. She was still swaying slightly, her smile vibrant as she clapped along to the rhythm they had built together. The way the light glimmered in her eyes suddenly pulled him back into the moment. "All right, enough of this," Jack declared, his voice breaking through the merriment. "Let us turn this into a real dance party." "Yeah!" the twins shouted, their energy still uncontainable. He quickly shuffled through playlists on his phone, desperate to find something that conveyed the joy of their celebration. Fingers tapping excitedly, he finally landed on a lively tune. The instant the music filled the room, the atmosphere shifted again. The twins practically squealed, diving back into their dance, while Maria laughed and beckoned Jack closer. "Join me," she said, pulling him to her side. They began to move in sync, matching their steps, and for a heartbeat, everything else melted away. Jack felt carefree, wrapped in the warm glow of the moment, and as he looked around at the twins, he realized he hadn't felt this light in years. Each turn and twist brought more laughter, each improvised step drawing them closer together. "Jack, look at this!" Ben cried, jumping from foot to foot with childlike enthusiasm. "What?" Jack leaned down to see. With a dramatic flourish, the twins created a spontaneous dance battle, trying to outdo each other with wild spins and exaggerated moves. Jack couldn't help but laugh, sidestepping to give them space while still keeping his rhythm with Maria. "Oh, to be young and fearless!" he chuckled, gazing at the twins with a mix of awe and amusement. Speaking of fearless, Maria leaned in, her voice dropping to a playful whisper. "What's stopping you from joining in?" He raised an eyebrow, playing along. "Fearless? Please, I've got 2 left feet." But her challenge ignited something within him. Just then, Ben and Alex burst into a synchronized cartwheel sequence, and without thinking, Jack lunged forward. With clumsy steps, Jack launched into a ridiculous interpretation of their dance, arms flailing as laughter erupted around him. "Now that's the spirit!" Maria cheered, clapping her hands and spinning alongside him. Feeling a surge of confidence, Jack stepped out further, matching their energy. Each misstep was met with laughter, each moment of awkwardness shared as a celebration of their connection. Jack's heart swelled with joy, and he realized that in this space, the beautiful colors of his life filled with Maria and the twins made his past worries feel like distant echoes, but the moment surged with intensity as he suddenly stopped. Maria was right there, eyes shining with exhilaration. It was a bold and tender prompting, a blend of challenge and invitation that the reality of life's heaviness couldn't dim. He could feel her gaze reaching into him, and for a second, time held still. "What are you thinking, Jack?" Maria asked gently, breathing a bit heavy but with excitement. I feel like we're on the edge of something," he said, a little breathless himself. "Something beautiful but uncertain." Maria stepped closer, the music still pumping around them. Jack was aware of everything, the warmth of her presence, the joy buzzing in the air. "And what if that's okay?" she asked softly, tilting her head slightly. Before he could reply, the mischievous twins grabbed them both, twirling them toward the center of the kitchen until they were both facing each other. Surrounded by the chaotic joy that bubbled from the twins, Jack knew the answer hung in the air, waiting for him to grab hold. "Together?" he asked, narrowing his gaze at Maria. "Together," she echoed, determination mixed with a hint of vulnerability reflecting back at him. But just as they were about to make that leap, the twins blew a party whistle, startling Jack and breaking the intensity of their gaze. Laughter erupted again, but the moment lingered like the echo of a late summer breeze in the air. Jack's heart raced. There was a choice to be made, and the energy in the room felt electric. As the laughter swept around, he wondered if he truly had the courage to embrace what lay just beyond uncertainty. What now? He thought as he watched Maria, her expression filled with playful expectation yet something more. What was waiting on the other side of this moment? The music pulsed on, a soundtrack to the magical chaos surrounding them. The twins spun wildly, infectious energy swirling in the small kitchen, and Jack found himself caught in the warmth of the moment. He glanced at Maria, who radiated a joyful light. Her laughter wrapped around him like a comforting blanket, and he felt the tension begin to ease from his shoulders. "I think you just gained a dance partner in your dance battle," Maria teased, winking at him. "Is this turning into a duet?" he joked back, a smile breaking across his face. As if on cue, Ben and Alex grabbed him, pulling him deeper into their world of twirls and giggles. The joy was palpable, and he could feel the rhythm of life, of family, of connection humming around them. With each step, he let go of the tight grip of uncertainty, embracing the laughter, the warmth, the fleeting happiness. Jack glanced sideways at Maria, blood rushing to his cheeks as their shoulders brushed. Their dance grew more chaotic, and every tumble into laughter felt like a step toward something new. He loved how the twins encouraged him, their tiny hands heavy with determination, guiding him as if he were part of something so much bigger, something alive and full of promise. "Okay, show us your best move," Alex shouted, her eyes sparkling with mischief. That was the moment. The challenge that hung in the air like an unspoken truth. Jack's heart raced with both fear and excitement. Could he take that leap? He took a breath, the air thick with anticipation, and decided to let go. Whatever happened next, he would be part of it, fully embracing the moment. With a theatrical flourish, he attempted a leap, landing awkwardly but landing nonetheless. The twins erupted into laughter while Maria clapped her hands, a shimmer of pride lighting up her features. Jack felt a rush of joy and embarrassment, but in that chaotic dance, he found freedom. "See? You're a natural," Maria exclaimed, her voice ringing with encouragement. Just when he was about to break into another disastrous move, the twins synchronized a twirling routine, drawing cheers and giggles from Jack and Maria. Jack's heart swelled. This wasn't just a dance party, this was a reminder of the beauty in letting go, in being silly, in being alive with those you love. As the music shifted to a softer tune, their frantic energy gradually calmed. They stepped back from the whirlwind of movement and laughter, still radiating a shared warmth. Maria swayed slightly, her eyes meeting his with an intensity that made him forget everything else. "Jack," she began, her voice low and earnest, "what if we really are at the edge of something special?" He opened his mouth to respond, but words escaped him. He could only nod. There was a connection between them that shimmered brighter than the twinkling lights overhead. The uncertainty that had once weighed heavily on his heart felt different now, filled with possibilities instead of question marks. Then, as if sensing the moment was too profound, Ben and Alex leaped into the air, yelling, "Dance party forever!" And they pulled Jack and Maria back into the lively swirl of joy. "Forever, huh?" Jack mused after the burst of laughter subsided. Maria grinned, her cheeks rosy from their whirlwind of activity. For as long as we make it last. Jack wanted to believe her. He wanted to grasp onto this fleeting moment no matter how fragile it felt. But as that thought settled in his chest, a sudden neighing sound interrupted the moment. A neighbor's horse had escaped and galloped through the yard, creating chaos. The twins gasped, scrambling to the window to see, while Jack and Maria exchanged hurried glances, laughter bubbling up again. "Should we go save the day?" he asked, half serious, half joking. "Only if we can make it a dance rescue," Maria replied, her laughter infectious. Jack felt the familiar spark of excitement. What awaited them next? Together, they bounded toward the door, hearts light and carefree. The day wasn't over, and neither was their journey. He just hoped that when the dust settled, he would have the courage to face whatever came after. Was he ready for the next steps together? As Jack and Maria burst through the door, the sight of the spirited horse prancing through the backyard made their hearts race. The twins squealed in delight, eyes wide and full of wonder. Jack couldn't remember the last time he felt so vibrant, so utterly alive. "Let us go!" Alex shouted, bursting into action. The twins raced toward the horse, while Jack and Maria exchanged a look that spoke of renewed partnership, a shared purpose igniting their spirits. Together, Jack said softly, his eyes gleaming. Maria nodded, her smile as bright as the sun shining above. They dashed after the boys, laughter mingling with their shouts as they coaxed the horse closer. Jack felt exhilaration surge through him. This was life, vibrant and unpredictable. He felt a wave of gratitude wash over him for these moments. All those fleeting experiences swirled together, each meaningful, each connecting them in deeper ways. Maria moved to the side, taking the lead, and for a split second, Jack marveled at how beautifully she commanded the scene. "Come on, big buddy," she called to the horse, her voice soothing and inviting. She stretched out her hand, a calming presence amid the joyful chaos. With a gentle nudge, Maria's kindness worked wonders. The horse took a few tentative steps toward them, drawn by her warmth and the laughter of the boys, whose fearless enthusiasm electrified the air. "Yes. Almost there." Jack cheered, his heart swelling with pride not just for the twins, but also for Maria. She was the spark igniting something profound within him, illuminating the parts long forgotten. As the horse edged closer, they formed a surrounding wall of patience and encouragement. But just as they reached out a few more hands, the horse reared, startled by a sudden movement from the boys. Laughter spilled into an echoing burst as the twins jumped back, surprised yet exhilarated. In that brief moment, it felt like everything stopped, and Jack was taken back to simpler days, where joy and spontaneity permeated every aspect of life. "All right, let us try again," he called out, confidence rising in his chest. The thrill of this adventure sent a rush of excitement flowing through him. They repositioned themselves, coaxing the horse with soft voices and gentle movements. With Maria's unwavering encouragement, Jack felt ready to dive into whatever came next. They had faced challenge and uncertainty and emerged renewed, ready to live boldly. It dawned on him that this was not just about the horse, it was about connection, about risking vulnerability for the sake of joy. With one last reach, Jack felt the warm, silken fur beneath his fingertips as he stroked the horse's nose. The animal calmed, the tension dissipating in joyous surrender. A triumphant cheer erupted from the twins, and Jack's heart soared higher than ever. "See? Teamwork!" Maria exclaimed, laughing joyously as she ruffled the twins' hair. Moments like these were revelations. They shared something real, something authentic. Jack exchanged glances with Maria, the connection pulsing between them like an unbreakable thread. This was a taste of something incredible, and he wanted to nurture it. The sun began to dip, painting the sky with strokes of orange and pink, a perfect backdrop for their prevailing joy. "Let us wrap it up before the sun goes down," Jack suggested. He knelt down, pulling the twins into a warm embrace, both of them giggling, the horse safely tied for now. Maria watched, her expression soft, a knowing smile dancing across her lips. That simple act of connection, not just with the horse, but within the framework of their growing relationship. Jack realized something profound. He could redefine his life beyond ambition and work. He could choose love, laughter, and that vibrant feeling of being truly alive. "Let's head back," he declared, standing tall with newfound determination. "We've got a kitchen disco party waiting." The twins cheered, and off they went, trotting back to the house, relishing the bond they'd formed that day. With every step, Jack felt lighter, more liberated than he had in years. As they entered the house, he glanced at Maria, her smile as bright as the setting sun, brimming with potential. "Together," he whispered, feeling their shared vision spark to life. "Together," she echoed, a promise that hung in the air like a magic spell. Emboldened by those simple words, Jack knew he would keep this feeling close, a torch lighting the way through any shadow of doubt that might threaten their newfound joy. The door to their past had closed, and as they opened a new one, Jack knew they were ready to write the next chapter, hand in hand, heart to heart. Now more than ever, this was the moment that called for commitment to love each other fiercely, to embrace their journey, and to dance through life together. Through all its unpredictabilities, the adventure was just beginning. If you felt inspired by Jack and Maria's transformative journey, you need to subscribe now. Hit that button immediately so you don't miss our next exclusive stories that will tug at your heartstrings. And hey, leave a like now to help us feed the algorithm and keep this channel thriving. We want to hear your thoughts too, so comment below with your reactions and feelings about the ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support means everything to us, and together we can spread love and joy.